Breaking, Trump just dropped bad news on every anti-gun marcher today. Adolf Hitler once stated that to conquer a nation, first disarm its citizens. It seems the Democrats and even some Republicans are intent on just doing that, willing to trade in liberty for security, and clearly doing a brain dump of what history shows is the result of disarming people over and over and over and over again. One would think that given the plethora of examples of the genocides that have occurred as a result of disarmament and the success of armed teachers and school resource officers, as evidenced by the recent school shooting in Maryland, this would be a no-brainer. Yet, here we are being confronted by the gun control crowd protesting in Washington, demanding their version of safer schools in what has been dubbed as the March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C. Some are even screeching about the omnibus spending bill signed by President Trump on Friday amid much backlash from both sides of the aisle. Instead of being concerned about the more than $1 trillion added to the national deficit and the multitude of American taxpayer dollars going to fund other countries, leftist progressives like David Brock are claiming President Trump did not do enough. One of the few cuts made in the omnibus bill was cut funding for two safety initiatives implemented after the Sandy Hook incident in 2012. FBI warned about the shooter, but everyone at March for Our Lives is walking right past and blaming the NRA. Known as the Comprehensive School Safety Initiative, CSSI, and Research and Evaluation for Technologies to Improve School Safety. The measures were both canceled as a result of cuts to funding, according to a message on the National Institute of Justice (NIJ) website. With the enactment of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2018, the funding plan for these solicitations is no longer available for research and evaluation, noting that the funding would be used for other purposes under the Stop School Violence Act of 2018. Well, quite a bit of people there. Brock's media publication Share Blue whines about a funding cut and lack of gun control legislation found in the omnibus, stating it doesn't even have any provisions related specifically to guns. Instead, it focuses on training students, teachers, and law enforcement to respond to mental health issues, and it provides funding for measures meant to harden schools like metal detectors. People used to march for their rights. Now, they just march to have them taken away. Brock also attempts to draw some sort of correlation between the fact that the Trump administration made the initial request to Congress to cancel funding for these two programs on February 12th, and just 2 days later on Valentine's Day, Cruz went on his rampage at in Florida, and regarding the rise in school incidences, saw a small child holding up a Trump kills kids sign at the March for Our Lives in New York City. Such exploitative idiocy is borderline child abuse, and no serious person could believe it is in any way helpful. I agree with that. It's not helpful. Except a recent study published by Northeastern University shows that schools shootings are actually fewer, demonstrating there is no growing trend, with findings showing shooting incidents involving students has been declining since the 90s. However, the timing was merely coincidental, and funding seized on these programs because they were unsuccessful. These programs have been in place for years, and it is certainly clear something needs to be done. The new spending, according to Accord, actually raises overall federal school safety funding. It also shifts funds from these two current and existing programs into what is known as the Stop School Violence Act, or STOP. STOP is included as part of the omnibus and allows for funding to be used for physical security measures like metal detectors. The $75 million that was previously appropriated to the fund, the CSSI, has also been rerouted to help fund STOP. The CSSI was a program in the Department of Justice that funds research and implementation of a wide range of evidence-based safety programs that range from bullying prevention to innovative approaches to school policing. This policy gave birth to programs such as the Promise Program, a program that allowed Cruz to effectively escape arrest, indictment, and conviction, which potentially could have blocked him from purchasing the firearms used in the incident. What is the Promise Program? American Thinker describes the program and its effect on Broward County public schools like this. In the 2011-2012 school year, Broward County Public Schools had the highest number of school-related arrests statewide at 1,062. Newly hired Superintendent Robert Runcie, with strong connections to the Obama administration, teamed up with community organizations like the NAACP, local law enforcement and government agencies, to sign the collaborative agreement on school discipline to eliminate the schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline through programs such as Promise, preventing recidivism. I can't even understand what it means. Through opportunities, mentoring, intervention, support, and education. Well, we saw how helpful that was. One of the program's participants, juvenile court judge Elijah Williams, speaking at a 2013 signing ceremony for Promise, made it clear it was all about the stats. We already bought the ticket. We are waiting for our numbers to come in. We know we have hit the jackpot when our school-related arrests go down, down, down. The collaborative agreement signed by Runcie, Sheriff Scott Israel, now fully embroiled in his agency's failure. And it goes on and on. Jesus, I mean, really? Give it a rest. Now, what do we... Let's get to the gist of this. It never seems to occur to many of these people that playing pass the buck can have dire consequences. People mean something, and they are not garbage to be thrown away. The horrific event in Florida demonstrated one thing loudly over and over and over again. We have failed, you and me, we have failed a person, allowing him to be thrown away with no means or mechanism to cope and no mental capacity to deal with all life threw at him. Murderers are not born, they are created by hundreds of failures over the course of a 19-year-old boy's life, where a mother noted that her son needed mental health assistance yet did nothing. A school resource officer named Scott Peterson noted that Cruz could be involuntarily committed for a mental health evaluation due to the danger he posed, and many others. Yet no one did a thing. Everyone thought it was someone else's problem. Perhaps had someone taken the time to take care to make Cruz their problem, to follow through 17, and that would end that. Okay, but I guess it is easier to let people down, pretend they are nothing, and simply walk away safe in your sanctimonious outrage that, well, it's not me or mine. It doesn't affect me or mine, and never stop to consider the long-reaching ramifications. Well, look, I don't know what these people are marching for. Yeah, they're marching to take away your rights. That's basically the bottom line, because idiots and criminals are not going to go through regular procedures. Mental health should be taken into consideration, yes, because there are a lot of, people that slip through the cracks. But look at the amount of people. Why? Because the kids are brainwashed. They've been indoctrinated in the school systems. They're teaching them to be brain dead, basically, in the school system. They don't want anybody with any common sense today. So I don't even know why parents are paying for these schoolings. Yeah, and all the celebrities are out there. That's basically the bottom line. They're marching to take their rights away. Yeah, I do believe there should be some kind of a mental evaluation before they give you a gun. Yeah, I do agree with that because, in some sense, because a nut job can go and purchase a gun. But then again, the criminals are not going to go through these processes. They're going to get them illegally. And I don't know. Put guards, metal detectors in the schools to alleviate some of the problems. That's basically bottom line. Maybe they should have something where they can report somebody that they think they're a little bit off their rocker. But other than that, there's not much you can do, you know. But you know, yet again, look at the people. Look at the people, because all the stars are out there promoting this stuff. You see. That's basically the bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.